Okay, that was an interesting conversation with Sonu Nigam, which Karanya had. But let's get back to markets. PNB Housing just put out numbers and the street really liked them a lot. You could see that in the price action yesterday. We have the management now with us, Neeraj Vyas, MD and CEO. So good morning, welcome to the show. Better than expected numbers this quarter, while your profits and NII were a bit subdued, NIMs have been fairly stable, NPAs also seem to be under control. Perhaps that has something to do with the moratorium, which by the way PNB has come down considerably. So what are the key highlights of this quarter's performance according to you?
See, in fact, moratorium 1 when it came, I think probably everybody was uncertain about it. Nobody knew it, how to do the communication. Even the customers had some kind of, fear of uncertainty. But moratorium 2 when it was announced, it was a very calculated call taken by us that we need to educate the customer that moratorium does not mean they don't have to pay. Ultimately, the liability is theirs and it would result into higher interest and increased EMI post when moratorium was lifted. So we had drafted very specific communication to each and every customer that if you avail the moratorium, post moratorium lifted, your liability to pay to the institution will go up by this much amount, that is the EMI would go up, and over a period of the remaining maturity, suppose somebody is having 58 months maturity, the total amount that you are going to pay would be this much in terms of gross amount. So this was specific communication suited to particular customers. Suppose somebody has 58 months maturity, somebody has 62 months maturity, rate of interest is different. So all that kind of thing is done. Customer education was done. The customers also realized that taking moratorium does not mean that they don't have to pay, and that confusion got removed, and that is the reason that people took less number of people availed the moratorium. After that also we continued our effort to educate the customers, and then we got involved with our call center individual engagement with the customer, those who had taken the moratorium too. Again, out of this education series, roughly around 5,000 customers have withdrawn their moratorium. So it was, I think, a very, even the customer became aware subsequently through newspaper and with the help of media and all that, and interactive sessions that we had with the customer through our call center.
While your NPAs are stable and the moratorium is down, what is the kind of rise in NPAs and provisions is it that you expect going forward in the rest of this fiscal?
I don't see any problem with the retail NPAs, because as I mentioned that people who do not take moratorium 2, when we saw their track record, the collection efficiency is 95% plus. So it means those people who have taken moratorium 1 and did not take moratorium 2, the collection has come back on track, and we are trying to improve further. Overall basis, my collection efficiency is 98% plus. So people are, they are paying as per the schedule. In case of corporate, I cannot give you across the board because situation is very dynamic. Almost the entire corporate book, 80% people have taken the moratorium. But one thing is there that in case of moratorium book, even otherwise, if I see my record before the moratorium was announced, we are roughly around 58% of our corporate book under moratorium. Automatic, because construction project is long duration project, so we grant a loan for say 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, you give initial 2-3 years moratorium. So if I look at that, the major risk comes from those projects which are under construction or where the stage of construction is below 50%, because once it reaches 60 to 70% beyond that, the risk goes down comparatively. So the major risk comes from this portfolio which is less than 50%. Now in that thing, my total book is around 58% of under moratorium, which is under moratorium, and in that my outstanding less than 50% is 3,400 crores. So out of 3,400 crore, 1,000 crores is already NPA for which we made a provision, and 2,400 out of 2,400, 2,200 is zero default cases. So it means the book is good.
You expect the corporate book as percentage of overall AUM to come down to 15% by end of FY21. What is the total corporate book right now, if you could tell us, and what's the outlook on NPAs and moratorium in the corporate book?
So we have total corporate book of roughly 14,000 crore, right? Our aim is to keep on disbursing into retail, as I told you, entire disbursement during the year, which we plan roughly around 13,000 crore. will go for retail disbursement. So automatically when the overall loan book is growing in retail side, the corporate book will come down. So that is one strategy we are trying to do. So in terms of percentage, it will come down. Second strategy we are trying to do, we are trying to sell down our corporate book also. Right now we have two of the accounts where the sanction is already available with us, worth around 350 crores, which we are selling it to the other banks. These are good accounts, and other banks have shown interest. As we decided that we will reduce our corporate book, we agreed to, the purchase of book by the other bank. The sanctions are available, but because of lockdown, the documentation is not happening, mortgage is not happening, stamp papers are not available. Some of the states have for notice of intimation for mortgage, so that registration office is not working. So all the hurdles, and if everything is all right, the banks do not have people coming to the office because of lockdown, or somebody has been identified with COVID and entire office is sealed. So these problems are getting done, but that is one part, that is, as I told you, that is there. Another 350 crore we are very close to striking a deal with other banks for takeover. So those accounts will be taken over, and they are good accounts. So we are cooperating with the bank. Whoever is willing to buy the book, we are sharing the information with them. The builder also is willing, because probably he will get a better rate of interest from there. We are not reducing rate of interest in this falling rate of scenario, which he is requesting, and we are not willing. So these two things would help us reduce the corporate book in terms of percentage and absolute both.
Alright, sir, and what's the amount that I've availed under the special liquidity window? You have 3 months of liquidity available, so how are you placed on the ALM position?
No, I think if you see our presentation that we have uploaded on the website, the ALM is okay. ALM is comfortable up to 6 months time. 6 to 12 months bucket there is shortage, but in the ALM we do not take into account the net interest margin that I will be making. So that is roughly 2,000 crore, and shortage is roughly around 1,200 crores. But that is not a worry for us, because the lines are coming, and as I mentioned that in the special liquidity scheme, I think some notional cap has been given by them for 2,000 per institution. No, I have not heard it officially from anyone, but some notional cap is there. We have applied for 5,000 crores. Let's see how much sanction comes. But we are comfortable in terms of liquidity, and as I told you, if you see a 6 to 12 month bucket, I think the deficit is 1,200 crores. So that does not take into account my NIM, which I get roughly 2,000 crores.
Okay, and how comfortable are you on the capital position? Any plans for a QIP or a rights? And would PNB looking to sell their stake in PNB Housing Finance?
See, the first question as far capital is concerned, I am very much comfortable. If you see my capital adequacy ratio, which was 13.98 as on March 19, has moved to 17.98 as on March 20 and 18.05 as on June. So as far as the capital adequacy is concerned, capital is adequate, but because last year we had made an announcement that we will be going to the market to raise the capital, and repeatedly, if you see my rating also, one of the rating methodology, whatever they comment is that, capital raise plan. So they are considering that as one of the important parameters to assess my ratings and all that. And during last 4 months, my rating has been downgraded. So basically, to take care of the market sentiments, we will go. For doing business, I don't need capital, but to take care of market sentiments, we remain committed that we'll go to the market. The issue is that up to December, January, if you would have seen, PNB had gone on record saying that they will remain promoters, their support would be available, and they won't let their shareholding fall below 26%. So we thought that we'll go for QIP or preferential allotment, but post January 20, when the issue was discussed, because we decided in January 20, if you go to the market, we need audited financials. So audited financials would be available going by the track record in April, May only, got delayed because of the COVID. So we thought, let us get the audit done, and then we'll go to the market for capital raise plan. But during the meantime, when we discuss with PNB is positively inclined at executives level that yes, in the given situation, while all the three options like QIP, preferential and rights are open, rights appear to be most appropriate option, and probably PNB will contribute into the right issue, but that is only at the executive level, because ultimately PNB is a bank controlled by the Government of India, so they have to take up the Government of India, Reserve Bank of India both. And if you see their result till 19, they were not in black, but in the result of 31st March 20, they are in black. So I think, they are also positive on that. They will take this matter to their board. They appear positive, but they'll go to the board. It's a board-driven company, listed company. Board will take a call. And if board takes a call, they'll contribute to the right. Maybe all stakeholders probably would agree for a rights issue. But all the three options are open to us. But all we are waiting for PNB's decision, which informally we are told that probably end of July or maybe first week of August they'll go to their board.
Alright, Mr. Vyas, thanks so much for joining us this morning. That was the management at PNB Housing Finance. Great results, great action. On that note, time for a quick break here and buy now, sell now.